Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a completely different type of video for my channel, and it is going to be my version of Olive Garden's delicious Zuppa Toscana. And when I found this recipe online a few years ago, I was so excited to try it, and I was even more excited to see that it actually tastes very similar to Olive Garden's. I do use a few different ingredients or substitutions than Olive Garden does, but I will explain that in this video, and I really hope that you enjoy these type of videos. So the first things that you will need are some chicken broth. I use 3 packs. You will also need some ground Italian sausage. I use mild, and then some heavy whipping cream. You will need organic baby spinach. Olive Garden uses kale, but I choose to use spinach. You will also need some russet potatoes, a very large pot, a cutting board, onions. I get the pre-chopped onions just because they're the perfect size for the soup. And then I use minced garlic, which I do not believe Olive Garden does. I also use some onion flakes, cayenne pepper, and onion salt. So the first step is to brown your Italian sausage. So we're just going to put that in the pot with some chicken broth and let that cook. And then I use this like potato masher, I think that's what this instrument is called, to really ground the beef and make sure that there are no big chunks. I want the ground beef to just be really small. And then I'm just going to stir it and make sure that it cooks evenly. And now I am adding some additional chicken broth to make sure that the meat doesn't dry out or get burnt. And I also added some salt, onion flakes, along with cayenne pepper. Adding these ingredients now will really start to season the meat. Then you want to stir everything together and make sure everything is mixed very well. And then I am again going with this potato masher and making sure that the meat is in very small pieces. Now I am going to begin slicing up my potatoes. I believe that they're sliced in about a 1-inch width, and I'm using a bag and a half of these potatoes. Here you can see the meat is getting nice and brown, so we are going to add our first batch of sliced potatoes. And then again, we are going to stir everything and make sure that everything is nicely mixed. And now we just need to continue slicing up potatoes. With this batch of soup, I am feeding 7+ people, so this recipe does make quite a large amount of soup. And again, I am adding this second batch of potatoes. You definitely don't want to wait too long in between adding the potatoes, just to ensure that all of the potatoes are cooked at the same consistency. And now I'm also adding the remainder of the chicken broth. Here you can see I have a few more potatoes to slice up. This is how thick I try to make each of the potatoes. And now that the last batch of potatoes have been added, we will stir everything together and add our remaining ingredients, which are the 2 packs of chopped onions and a heaping tablespoon of minced garlic, along with the onion salt, onion flakes, and a few more dabs of cayenne pepper. And then we are going to stir all of that together. With this recipe, you really don't need as many onions as I put in. It's all up to what kind of taste you're trying to achieve. And now we are just going to let this boil until the potatoes get very soft. And it's definitely important to check on the potatoes quite often to make sure they're not getting too soft. I always just stick a fork in a potato, and if it goes through, I know the soup is done. This usually takes like 30 to 45 minutes for the potatoes to get tender. And now I am adding in the heavy whipping cream, and I'm stirring that all together, and then I also make sure to turn off the flame so that this can begin cooling down. And now I am going to begin chopping up the spinach. You really don't need to chop this too small or in any certain way. Because of the heat of the soup, the spinach tends to kind of get really soft and melt a little bit. So again, there's no technique to chopping this. Once it is cut up a bit, I place it in the soup and begin stirring it up. And now I am just letting the soup cool down and letting the spinach soften up. I'm adding a little bit more here, and it will be ready to serve shortly. And once all of the ingredients have settled and are beginning to cool down, you are ready to serve your Zuppa Toscana. So that is all for this Zuppa Toscana recipe video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave it a thumbs up, and definitely leave me your feedback on these type of videos in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys thought. Also, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. As always, check the bottom description below for all of my upcoming videos. And thank you again so much for stopping by for this video of mine. I greatly appreciate the support and kind words that you guys provide me with, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.